We can just start with a short introduction about who you are.
Sure. So my name's Dan Green. I've been in Taiwan for about a year and a half now. I'm in a master's degree program for human resources. And before this, I was working in America in HR as well. So I decided to make the plunge back into studies after being in industry for a while. So here I am exploring my roots and seeing where things go.
Nice, sounds fun. So, why did you choose to be a TUTEEMI tutor, and how does it make you feel?
Yeah, so I was specifically looking for any sort of part-time work where I could fit it around my schedule really easily. And I knew that tutoring would obviously be the best fit. So to Teamy, I saw the opportunity and I saw there was listings for roles that you could take on in the evening and then also late at night as well. So I saw that fit great with my class schedule. So I decided I'd take the jump and applied.
We're super happy to have you. Is there any specific moment with a student that was meaningful to you? Yeah.
I remember one of the students that I have now, he ranked his favorite teachers of all time. And then he said, Dan, you're, right at the top three. And, I sort of like was like, whoa. But it was definitely cool to hear and I was super surprised. And I let him know I was grateful for it too. But I feel like in those moments, you definitely have to like show that you appreciate your students and also make sure you realize the connection that you have with them. And then of course the impact as well.
Do you somehow see yourself like the big brother of this student?
Yeah, I would say like more like a big brother.
That's super cute. Okay, and have you had a special experience with a student's family that made you feel proud or appreciated?
For me, I think it's like the small moments. So like if I go over to a student's house and his family has like snacks or they offer to get me a drink or a meal, I think it's those small moments of gratitude that really stick with me. So I feel like basically those connections where I feel like I've made a difference in some way that they feel like I'm close enough that they can sort of like let me into their family door a little bit. Like that's really what sticks with me.
I think it's tricky to find those connections as a foreigner in Taiwan, right? Especially with the Taiwanese culture.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely that divide, I feel like. So I feel like tutoring is probably like one of the best ways to get, close with a Taiwanese family, a local family.
Nice. So, can you tell me a bit about how your classes usually look like when you go to your students' homes?
Sure. So for example, one of the students I'm working with now, his mom laid out basically the foundation for what she expects from the lessons. So based on that, I'll develop a lesson plan. So every class, the lesson plan alters, but the primary points of focus will stay the same. So when I go to his house, we'll go to the study room. It's at the very top of the apartment complex. We have our own little private sound insulated suite, which is pretty awesome. So we'll have our lessons there, and he can be as loud as he wants if he gets rambunctious. But we'll go through like worksheets, work on projects together, maybe like science projects or just general English work as well. But the main thing for me is that I just tick off all the boxes. So I try to do reading, writing, listening, and speaking just to make sure that he's getting that comprehensive practice in. But the most important thing for me is sort of the environment. I try to keep it low key and super casual. I know that generally speaking, Taiwanese students are spending a lot of time at school, working on their studies a lot. So I feel like having that atmosphere shift is super important.
So, would you say like Tutimi doesn't feel strict to them, but more like something fun that they're looking forward to?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would say it's definitely more on the fun. It's not like a cram school where they go and they're like, oh, I'm gonna sub for the next hour or so. But Tutimi like gives them that openness where they can actually have fun and explore English in a cool environment.
Nice. So, like you said, one of your students ranked you as their top, like within their the top three teachers. So, do you have a favorite student, and can you tell me about that to T?
Yeah, I would say that 2D would be the same one here ranking the top three. I'd say he's definitely my favorite because he's the most critical. So he's not afraid to critique me. Like we have a close enough relationship where, he can be critical of me or even give me suggestions of how to change like my style of teaching or like the direction of class. So I feel like that's super cool.
How
I just
old
feel like
is
we
he?
have he's 10.
Okay, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
What
definitely a
else? What
smart
else?
kid.
Yeah.
He also keeps me up to date with the latest trends. So like I didn't know anything about K-pop before I met him, but now I was like, okay, I know Baby Monsters, so I can like be cool in that area as well.
That's amazing. So you feel like you also get to learn from your students.
Exactly. Mutual.
That's really cute. Have you had the experience of learning a second language?
I have. So I started getting really serious about Chinese before I came to Taiwan. And during that time, I was largely using tutors as well. Like, I really like the personalization. Like, I could customize a lesson to fit my learning needs. So that was, I guess, my first exposure to like tutoring. But I studied for a few years before I came to Taiwan. I knew that the scholarship, they make it really important that you have that test. It adds a point or so to your acceptance rate. So I made sure I passed the test before I came over.
Good. So your Chinese is okay-ish?
Yeah, I was like, okay, it's not bad.
That's amazing. Okay, so like you're from the States, and then like how do you think learning a second language or a third language could help you?
I think for me, particularly, it's professionally. So, especially now in Taiwan, because I'm looking at roles in HR, every interview I've had so far has been conducted in Chinese. So they really expect you to have some level, yeah. Because I guess they want you to like make sure you're like meshed with the organization. Like all your coworkers will be Taiwanese for the most part, so they want to make sure there's no gaps in like language and culture. So I feel like especially now I can really see like the importance of actually knowing Mandarin.
Wow, that sounds so hard. So your Chinese definitely is better than okay-ish to like have like a full-on interview with Chinese. Good for you.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, so what advice would you give to someone applying to Tutimi?
I think the most important thing is to keep an open mind. Like I've had 2Ds, like I go in with a full plan, like believe I'm fully prepared. But like once I get in the classroom, everything changes. Like you don't know exactly how the student's really going to be. You saw the description on paper, but they could be completely different in person. And I feel like you have to have that level of flexibility, always be ready to adapt and change. Like your lesson plan might be thrown in the trash instantly when you get there. So being able to, work on the fly and just like develop something new and keep them entertained for 2 hours, that's a skill you have to have.
That's amazing. And can you just like mention some of the things that you enjoy just by working at Tutimi?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me is making connections with locals. I think like sort of what we mentioned before, you feel like there is that divide, but I feel like when you're in someone's house, it's impossible not to connect with them on some sort of personal level, and you're talking to them for 2 hours. And by extension, you're also connecting with their family. So I've had like families, talk to me just like small chats about professional direction and different life advice from me, like just on the fly. So I feel like there's lots of fringe benefits that you might not consider until you're actually there.